Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
This is the classic American automobile. It's a 1963 Corvette Stingray. It's the split window. They are hard to find. There were only 10,000 of them made, and to find one this good is pretty amazing. And just when you think this car can't get any better, oh, it can, because Billy is here from Corvette Correction, and you've made classic cars like this even better. First of all, what about a Corvette needs correcting in the first place?
Well, we started this business with the first generation car, and those need a lot of correction. These cars were pretty good cars. We have made them better by using our chassis and putting the C4 suspension underneath them. They had a lot of problems with rust in these cars because people drive them in the snow and the ice and salt and what have you, but it is a pretty cool car.
Technology has changed.
Oh yeah, you know, all the stock control arms were stamped steel control arms. They were heavy. They had a kind of a poor setup on the rear suspension. This has gone to a 4-link rear suspension. It's all aluminum stuff. It's forged. Well, you don't have that in the later 5, 6, or 7 cars. That's one of the reasons we use the C4 stuff. It is stronger and it's nice and light.
You're using better materials, lighter materials, and really a better design in a lot of ways. So what are some of the details? Let's go from the front to the rear, some of the things you paid attention to.
Okay, well, for one thing, you get rack and pinion steering. And we use the whole front cradle just like GM designed it, so you don't get bump steering the corners and stuff like that. And we incorporated that into our first generation chassis, now our second generation chassis. Of course, we do pickup trucks and Tri-5s too. But this system works so well. And GM did so many dollars worth of engineering. I mean, I'm not smart enough, I don't have the money to do that. So I just copied their stuff. You know, we put all the hard points in the same place in the back, and it works.
No, you're being humble. I mean, you did copy the mounting points, so you're able to take your existing car and drop it right on this chassis.
Yeah, we use all the same body mounts at, you know, same location as they are stock.
But you have a few places where you reinforce, like right here in the transition.
Yeah, in this transition area, that was one of the big problems we had trying to develop this frame where it's stronger than the stock frame. And what we do in this area right here is we use a piece of this 3x4 3/16 wall tubing.
Same as the cross member there?
Same as that cross member. Inside this box, it goes from here to here and it welds in. And then this box slides over the top of it and then it's welded in. And then it transitions into this area right here. It's a triangle piece that we put on this 3x4 box tubing to give it more rigidity.
So it keeps it from flexing in this direction.
We're trying to keep the flex out of the cars, and we've been able to do that successfully with reinforcing this box. The first one I didn't put the box in there, and it had less flex than the original frame, but it was still more than I wanted.
You're always testing and
you know,
doing some R&D.
The prototype was, you know, it worked, but it didn't work as well as these do.
Right, and your engineering mind went to work and you did things like that. And you also added the gussets there that we see.
Yeah, we put gussets in the corners of everything but the prototype frame. And that helps this whole area just really be strong.
What about exhaust? I know a lot of times cross members, you've got to work your way around it, and people always think of exhaust last. I get that complaint from engine guys anyway. Exhaust is an afterthought, but you've thought of that and you've taken care of that.
We have, and we didn't drop our cross member down low because we didn't want to put holes through it. We wanted to keep it pretty rigid, so we run the exhaust under the cross member, which still is higher than it was in the stock car because the other cross member dropped down and had holes in it. So we're under the cross member, and then we go under the rear end, and in lots of cases, like in that car, we bring them out the center, more modern looking. You can still take them out the stock holes, or, you know, we've had people put side pipes on these cars too, which affects none of this stuff underneath.
Last time you were here, you brought a 62 that was immaculate, and I still tell people it's the best car I've ever driven. You mind if I take this one for a spin?
No, you need to.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Billy, this car is amazing. It looks incredible and it drives just as well. I know the burning question from people is, what are they going to have to do to their car? How much are they going to have to cut it up to mount it to one of your frames?
Not a lot. I mean, just take those 2 jack welds out behind the seat here, and we have a fiberglass panel that glues right in there. And that's the only thing you have to do. The body will fit right on the frame other than that. And the only reason we have to do that is because the bigger pumpkin, what have you.
Gotcha. Well, this thing is amazing and handles as well as any new car I have ever driven. You really got a winner here. And anybody with a classic Corvette, with a Tri-5 or Chevy truck, you're going to want to check out Corvette Correction, because everything starts with a really good foundation, and this is a really good foundation, Billy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I've had guys drive these cars that own C7s, you know, 16s and 17s, and they said, we'll sell our car, just have one of these instead.
Well, like I said, you've hit a home run here. This is amazing. You can check it out at CorvetteCorrection.com. A whole lot more coming up on Motorhead Garage. You'll want to stay tuned for this one. Motorhead Garage is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics, PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store, and by Custom Auto Sound, audio for the great classics, customs, and street rods.
Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. Well, it's all about the power steering system, and specifically the rack and pinion. Now, here's a rack and pinion right here, and I can show you how it works. Coming in from the steering shaft right here, changing that rotary motion into linear motion, the steering wheel is going to turn this right here, and this is called the actual pinion. And located on the pinion, this is a spool valve. Now what this does, it directs fluid to either side of the rack, and I can demonstrate that for you as well. Let's say, for example, I got 100 PSI over here and 0 over there. Well, zoop, it's going to help you turn in that direction. If I got 100 PSI and 0 over there, well, it's going to help you turn in that direction. Down here is the actual rack assembly itself, and then out here is connected to your tie rod ends, to your suspension. So that's actually what turns your car. You can see it located right here. There's the actual spool valves, then you got the pinion down there and the rack going across. Now next, I really want to show you, which is cool. I'll get rid of this here in a second. And what we'll talk about is this guy right here. Talk about the evolution of rack and pinions. Man, this is electric rack and pinion. And how does this work? Well, you have the steering angle sensor right here. And when you turn the car to the right or to the left, the computer is going to go ahead and control this unit right here. It's electronic. Check this out. There's the big electric motor right there. So if I spin that, an electric motor is going to drive. It's actually going to drive this drive belt with a tensioner down here and run this worm gear, and then the worm gear is actually running the rack and pinion here. So you got an angle sensor, a torque sensor. You got a lot going on down here, Len. Speaking of technology, we started out here with an actual rack and pinion. We went over here to electro-hydraulic and to the full electric rack. I mean, cars have evolved massively. How has AMSOIL evolved to keep up with them?
You know, that's an excellent question, because if you look at the amount of products that we actually have at AMSOIL, it can be mind-boggling. But at the end of the day, there's really two ways when it comes to motor oil that you can do that. You can chase the spec. The American Petroleum Institute updates those specs that you see on the back of oil bottles. And you can just continue to follow those specs and upgrade your product. Or you can do what we like to do at AMSOIL, and that is innovate. We test, we buy the equipment, we figure out its appetite for product, and then we build and we formulate the product to make sure that that thing is protected. And we do that no matter what types of products that you're talking about, whether it's ATV, UTV, whether it's passenger cars and light trucks, diesels, it doesn't matter. We apply that to everything.
Don't settle for products that don't evolve with technology. All you have to do is go to AMSOIL.com, and you know you're going to get the most technologically sophisticated, tried and tested products on the market.
My name is Jerry Silvery. This is my 1962 Ford Ranchero. I bought it about 3 years ago, done some minor repairs on it and transmission work. I've always wanted a Falcon Ranchero, and I've had Falcons in the past, but never a Falcon Ranchero. So this is my Falcon Ranchero. This car is pretty much original except for the engine. It originally came with a 177 six-cylinder. It's got a 200 six-cylinder now. Other than that, the car is completely original. It's a comfortable, sporty car without being a normal car. It's unique in its own way. The horn button definitely says Falcon on the horn button. I don't know if they did that with all Rancheros, but this one particularly came from the factory with a Falcon horn button. 62 and 63 versus the 1661. 1661, basically different grills, turn signals in the grill, different tail lights, and the 62 and 63 had the turn signals in the bumper with a solid grill.
You've kept this 1962 Ranchero basically original, but what's the biggest change you've made to the interior?
The auto sound stereo system. I did not want to modify the dash or cut in a square box type radio with a single DIN. I wanted a custom fit to the car. That was very important to keep the car looking original in the interior.
Rodents can cause thousands in damage to your vehicle. They chew through wiring, they chew through insulation, and they chew whenever your vehicle sits, even overnight. Now, of course, there's mouse traps. Those are super gross. And there are traps that are inhumane, and I don't like any of those. So there's a better choice. It's called Mouse Blocker. And devices from Mouse Blocker emit ultrasonic waves. And Mouse Blocker is specially engineered to keep mice and rats out of your vehicle, your RV, your boat, or your garage. Mouse Blocker is a proven deterrent, and it's always on guard. You can protect what matters. Just go to mouseblocker.com before the mice move in. Now we move on to more Motorhead Garage from the Mouse Blocker studio. Hey there, Motorheads. Welcome to your show, Motorhead Garage. Now, if you're doing a restoration like this 1972 Chevrolet pickup truck, or you're doing a resto mod, one of the chief goals is to make your ride more fun, to make it more pleasant. So, Clint, at Quiet Ride Solutions, you have a solution. How can you make my ride better?
It's right there in the name. We're going to make it quieter. We can make it quieter, and if you're building it, we've got 1,700 part numbers, ready to go insulation kits. We can take care of your ride and make you happy when you get home, not just when you leave.
Everybody's happy when they go out on the cruise.
Everybody's happy. It's who's happy when you get back.
Got it.
And what you're putting up with.
And the way you do that, of course, the mat itself actually insulates from the heat, but it also insulates from the sound. Other companies are out there doing that. What makes a kit from Quiet Ride Solutions better than what we see out there?
Well, the ease of installation, because it's custom cut to each piece.
Let's talk about the installation process itself. You guys did it here in the studio. It didn't take long. What are the steps?
Well, first you got to get it relatively clean, and then you've got our acoustic strips that are spaced according to the instructions for your individual car. You've got a 12 to 17 decibel improvement over the stock insulation kit. And it's just a major improvement over what these things came stock. You've just taken a step above in that resto mod that you're doing. And you get to cover it with the carpet, so it doesn't matter if it's original or not. Just a light tacking of some glue to help it hold it in place. It's a major improvement. Everybody's happy when they get back.
The sound deadening strips, better driving through science, and then
exactly.
And then you have the mat that goes over it, and it's actually molded and it's fit, and the holes sometimes can be hard to match up on other insulations. You guys take care of all that.
And you can see that during your installation process, and you'll be happy with it when you get finished with it. And you tape the seams, and it makes just a complete cover that's uniform across the vehicle. It's a major improvement. And just a light tacking of some glue to help it hold it in place, line up your holes and just get after it. You saw is what we after about 30 minutes, and we had this particular kit in. If you do it right and start to finish, yes, it all lines up.
Why not use the OEM insulation, when it originally came with?
We've come a long ways in insulation technology, and this is closer to what a later model vehicle would have in it. So you're going to get closer to this newer level of comfort and sound that you get in your restoration project in this older technology. So you're able to stop the reverb, plus slow down the temperature as far as the temperature soak through the floorboard. Again, it just adds to the comfort. You think you want to hear all that engine noise, but if you plan on actually driving and enjoying your classic car, you need to make it comfortable for everybody else too.
And let's talk about another thing that's going to make your ride more comfortable here. You guys at Quiet Ride Solutions have this firewall insulation kit, and I've seen others out there. It's just a flat piece of rubber, but if you take a look, you guys made a mold of a 60s Chevelle firewall, and take a look at this, all these curves and all these undulations and everything. This is a really detailed piece. So yours actually molds to it. That makes a huge difference.
It's a good point, Dave. And if you've done this before, if you haven't, when you're buying the discount version of this, you can see right here, you're not going to make contact through more than about 30 to 40% with the firewall. It's right there in the name. It's called a firewall. That's not good.
Right.
You want to insulate it. In order to do that, you've got to make contact with the firewall. And the unique part about this Quiet Ride firewall pad is it's molded. We do 893 different versions of this, and we've got the correct version of your firewall. It's in stock and ready to go, and you can really improve it. It's not something you see, yet this is the original version. The originals were good on this. It's just a lot of the reproduction companies, they don't go through the trouble of making a mold and getting it right. We here at Quiet Ride, we have done a correct reproduction that's also more effective than what's available out there in the restoration world. It's unique in that it's easier to install as well. So this is a major improvement of what's available out there.
Now the firewall and the floor insulation, those are things you can't see, but they make a big difference. But there's something on here that you can see. You know, Repops is the parent company of Quiet Ride Solutions, and you guys are famous for the window felts and the window trim. Again, other companies are making those items. Why is it better coming from you guys?
Well, it's better from Repops because it's not only done well, it's coming off of the original equipment and tooling that built these cars originally. And we were able to acquire those, and it helps add to the quality of the seal, the performance of the product. But Dave, that particular part is part of the styling. You're finishing the edge between the paint and your window, and so it's a part of a function and style.
Quiet Ride Solutions is going to make your build or restoration a lot more fun to drive, and you can rest assured that the quality is there because they're made in the USA, and they have great customer service. You can find them at quietrideSolutions.com. And you can find more of Motorhead Garage when we come back. We'll see you in a few minutes. Motorhead Garage is brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment. Build it with Summit Racing Equipment, the world's speed shop. Core 4x4, unleash your off-road spirit. And by Flatline Barriers. Why settle for a mat when you can install a barrier? This gorgeous 1968 Plymouth GTX belongs to Junior Williams, and he is the PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week. Junior's dad, D-Ray, bought the car brand new in 1968, and Junior inherited the car when D-Ray passed away just a few years ago. Junior tells me the car is a true survivor, and everything on it is original. Obviously, those aren't the factory wheels, but Junior has the originals. And get this GTX has only 40,000 actual miles, and it's been garage kept from day one. The car is gorgeous. Junior Williams, by virtue of having one of the nicest survivor cars you will find, he is the PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week. And oh, by the way, I should tell you that the car is for sale for the right price. Now, the price is right to be the Motorhead of the Week. All you have to do is send us a note at motorheadgarage.tv and tell us your story. Tell us why you should be Motorhead of the Week. You know, I am a storage nut. So when I see a new storage idea, I jump all over it, and this is one of them. This is a lev rack, Ryan.
Yeah.
You came up with this a few years ago. What was the inspiration?
Yeah, basically our shop is on a farm in Nebraska, and we needed a parts room on the shop floor essentially. So we loved the idea of a mobile aisle system, but we didn't like the tracks in the floor that were an existing system. So we kind of use pallet racking as the frame. So it's all top down. You don't have to deal with gravel or dust or anything in a track in the floor because it's all overhead. But basically just maximizing your square footage of your shop because it's important, right, for other stuff. So this is all in one, basically a parts room on the shop floor is the idea behind it.
And not only you're maximizing the space, you're maximizing the stuff you may already have on hand.
Exactly, yeah. You're using pallet racking as you would overhead with a lot of capacity. And this is our 8-foot wide system. So it's our 8 wide, 7 tall, 3 foot deep. Total capacity of the system is around 9,500 pounds. And that puts each one of these rated at 800, and then you still have a decent amount of capacity overhead for engine blocks, tires and wheels, whatever that you would store up there essentially.
What are the different sizes?
So we have 4 spans, so 7, 8, 10, and 12, and then we do a 30-inch depth, a 36, and a 48. So there's just kind of across the board, and we also drop into existing pallet racks. So if you had a wall of racking, utilizing this head-down space is a key, because most of the time this level of pallet racking at your waist just becomes a catch-all. You can't reach it, it's 3 or 4 foot deep, so this is just utilizing that space better and providing you kind of with a ton of different options as well inside.
Let's talk about those options here. 4 shelves come standard in each of the units.
Correct, yeah. They ship with 4 completely adjustable shelves. Each one will hold 200 to 250 pounds. But then we also go into some accessories. This is one of our more popular accessories. It's a drawer kit. It's just basically a toolbox style drawer that locks in when it closes. We also have the slat wall here on display that integrates directly into the teardrop. As you can see, it just pops in 6-inch sections. That's an aluminum slat wall, so it gives you more capacity for tools and all that stuff.
Cool. And we'll look at the next section here. You've got a couple other accessories that you've come up with, and I'm sure you listen to your users
Yes.
and find out what their needs are.
For sure, for sure. So one of them is going to be this, we call it a bucket shelf. So it's a recessed shelf. It's a single piece, but it gives you the ability to move these and adjust them back and forth and store aerosols or whatever you need to compartmentalize, essentially organize better. It gives you that option. Then we have just a hanger rod here. So whether it's for your garage at home where your wife kicks you out of the house and your gear goes in the garage, or for guys at work where they're storing their work jackets and stuff, welding gear, whatever, just gives you a nice option to hang stuff.
Excellent. We'll go check out the workbench
for
over
sure.
here. First of all, the hook here from one of your friends.
Oh, yeah.
Gator hook.
Yeah.
And you can put those anywhere.
For sure. It's all about maximizing space. The bench for us is kind of a newer option. We call them workstations. Essentially, again, it's all around pallet rack. So you still have the pallet rack frame. We have 4-foot and 8-foot options. So either one, we call it the plus. So the overhead is the workstation plus. Fully adjustable bench, but again, super simple. If you don't want it or if it's in the way, you can pop it apart. Completely boltless application. Throw it in the corner if you don't need it. Put it back on when you need it. So it's just the flexibility.
And super simple to install. 2 guys put this together in about 10 or 15 minutes. It doesn't get any easier than that. You can revolutionize the way you work. You can revolutionize the way you store stuff. Check them out at levrack.com. Well, time is up, but we'll be back in just 1 week. In the meantime, you can find episodes from years and years of Motorhead Garage streaming everywhere you can find television and video. Until then, drive safely. We'll see you in 7 days.